What's up, guys? Welcome to Transformation. My name is Patrick Blake Leeper, and I was born without legs. I was destined to spend my life in a wheelchair, but with the right mindset and with sheer determination, I now hold 8 Paralympic track and field medals. Not stopping there, I'm now on a quest to become the fastest man alive and to inspire others to overcome their own limitations. I'm sure you are all familiar with today's guest, Glaude. After initially losing 160 pounds and sharing his biggest insecurity with the world, John embraced his loose skin and recently competed in his first physique competition. Welcome to Transformation. John, welcome to the show, Transformation. I don't know if you've heard of this show or not, but for your first time guest, welcome to the show. It's good to see you again, brother.
Good to see you too, man.
I'm so glad to have you on the show, and dude, you set the bar so high, so I'm trying to keep it up to par to your level. So help me out a little bit. But you know, most of the people kind of know your story. For those who don't, man, just kind of break it down and tell us about your, at the beginning of your weight loss story.
Yeah, so I was 20 years old, and at my highest weight, I was 360 pounds. So I just kind of did things to get to the next day and to get to the next day. I didn't do things I wanted to do. I just felt like I was existing in this world. I wasn't living anymore. But my main click moment was when I was actually watching this TV show. And on this TV show, basically a guy just comes on that kind of talks about his weight loss. And he just kind of said something along the lines of, I realized that it was my decision. It was choices that I was making. And I remember when he said that, it just clicked like in my head. Oh my gosh, like this is my choice. But then I remember I woke up the next day and it's almost like I was like born again, like I was a different person. I woke up just excited. So, I started off losing weight. I don't really exactly know what I'm doing, but I'm just doing the basic things, cutting out soda, cutting out junk food, stuff like that. So I ended up learning a lot about weight loss, a lot about working out. And then, that kind of brought me to where I am now, which is, I make YouTube videos and trying to help people that are, kind of struggling with losing weight.
Yeah, that's huge. So you make this huge transformation and you lose all this weight, and then you share a video about your biggest insecurity. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so at that time, I think I'd lost like 170 or 160. So this is what happens when you lose this amount of weight. This is what your skin looks like. I call it my battle scar. Like they can just see that loose skin and they know what it's from. So once I started just talking about it more and realizing how many people it was helping, that's kind of when it turned around from being any sort of negative to being a positive. So we end up putting it on my YouTube channel and it blows up. And then I get an email from the Ellen DeGeneres show. So I end up going up to LA and filming an episode with them. It was just crazy, And then from there, it just changed. It literally changed my life. Like it went from me working at 2 jobs to being able to, after a while, make YouTube my full-time thing. And it's been absolutely incredible.
And that's what I love about your story is that, okay, you conquered one goal and that wasn't it for you, man. You wanted more. Why did you choose to do a physique competition?
I really believe that if you're not somehow moving forward, if you're not somehow pushing the boundaries, you're gonna end up falling back. So I knew that I wanted to do this. But once I showed myself that I could lose this weight, that I can do this, I was like, what else can I do? What can't I do? And I gotta say, competing in a physique show was one of the hardest things I have ever done in my entire life. I look back at maybe the last 4 days of the competition before I, stepped on stage, and I'm just like, man, the mindset that I had, I was so determined. That was the only thing that was on my mind. And it was so empowering just having that just 100% focus. And it was one of the best experiences of my life. And the reason it was the best experience of my life was because of how freaking hard it was getting there.
And going through this whole process, and me when I'm training, I have these moments where it gets tough, right? Mm-hmm. We be lying if we say, oh, you go with a great attitude and everything's gonna be great, right? Definitely. And I know that it's hard sometimes. At any point, did you ever feel like giving up?
Yeah, so with competing, honestly, the hardest thing to deal with is the mental stress that it takes on you. You want to go out to eat with your friends. You want to have fun. You want to do all this stuff, but you're telling yourself, no, you're not allowed to do that. And it's hard. And then you realize, okay, if I'm going to do this for myself, this is it. This is the moment right here. These are the moments that are going to prove it. But at the same time, though, and I think that you could probably agree with this, in those moments that it was so hard and difficult is when I learned more about myself.
Yeah, and that's one of the greatest feelings. Like you said, like I can imagine when I'm at practice, or you know what I mean, or I've run into like I'm about to literally throw up, and I have this conversation with myself. It's like, look, man, we've come this far, we've worked this hard. We cannot give up yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And you kind of mentioned on it, but man, I would love for you to go a little bit deeper of like staying committed. And once you're like at the brink, how did you stay committed to your goal?
Yeah. So I have this tattoo right here, right? It says commitment, as you can see, right? The funny thing is I got that tattoo before I had ever lost weight. I don't want to get too into it, but my dad wasn't really in my life too much. You know, he was around a little bit. And then we had a couple dudes that were in my mom's life that would make promises and then just break them. They had no intention of ever keeping their promises. But if you say you're going to do something and you don't have absolutely every intention of actually doing that, don't say you're going to do it. When I said I'm going to do this show, I knew I was going to wake up and I was going to do it. I woke up and I was ready. And I am incredibly lucky and blessed to have the platform that I do, where I'm able to basically have a bunch of accountability partners that if I say I'm going to do something, they're going to be like, hey, you said you were going to do this. You know, they were there to say, hey man, like, you know, you've come this far, why would you quit now?
Yeah, dude, that's amazing. Like, you've lost weight, you competed in a physique competition, like, you've accomplished so much, like your whole life has changed just by the willpower of you wanting to change your life. Like, that's huge. I know I'm not the only one. What's next for John? Run for president next, right? What's going on?
That's it. There you go. Next? 2020. Honestly, the main thing that will always be what's next and will always be what's now, what was in the past, is like helping people. Whether that's help them lose weight or go and help homeless down in San Diego. I want what I do to bring positivity to this world. That's what I want to do. But you know, I did the physique show, bodybuilding. I think it would be really fun to actually do a powerlifting meet at some point in my, you know, in the future.
That's awesome, man. The man of many trades. Dude, thank you so much for coming back on. I really do appreciate it, John. But of course, you know how this goes. To the people that has followed your journey, what advice do you have for them? What would you tell them that would help them, give them just that little boost of motivation to make it through another day?
I would say the first thing is believe in what you are capable of. But, you know, maybe to build on that a little bit, the thing I want people to understand is all these great things that I've been able to do, they were all tiny choices, tiny decisions, tiny, you know, things that I did that ended up building and building and building and building into, you know, me losing 180 pounds. You know, there's tiny things that you're doing that will build and turn into a huge change.
That's awesome. John, my brother, thank you so much for spending your time, dude. We will meet again. And
yes.
Again, thank you for this platform of how you hosted the show and set it up for me. I got some big shoes to fill. It's a little hard without legs, but we'll figure it out. All right. Thank you so much, John. Appreciate it.
See you guys later.
The one thing that I take away from John's amazing story is, from a major weight loss to preparing for a fitness competition, the one common denominator is commitment. And whatever you're trying to accomplish in your life, you need commitment to be successful. I don't know about you guys, but it felt good putting John in the hot seat this time. Thank you guys so much for watching today. If you enjoyed the episode, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe for more episodes every single week. This is Patrick Blake Leeper. You're watching Transformation, and I'll see you guys again.